So this is something that happened recently in Cape Town.
Don't touch me! Hey! Don't touch me!
Forced evictions are not new to Cape Town, but they are often chaotic and violent as people fight to stay on the streets.
Informal dwellers outside of the castle needs to voluntarily move.
The majority are people that have also fallen on hard times. I have met so many homeless people that range from doctors, lawyers, teachers. The late President Nelson Mandela said, "A nation will be remembered but how they treat the most vulnerable."
But some people came out of houses. We have everything. Some people, yeah, they did everything, double stories, they were having a car, everything. But just like that, they lose it.
So my question is, what happens to the families that are on the streets and have nowhere to turn? In Cape Town, there is an estimated 14,357 homeless people living on the streets, facing different kinds of hardships every single day. But there is hope. There is one shelter that is changing the narrative, and we are going to visit that shelter today. So this is the Somerset West Family Night Shelter, and they are regarded as the first family night shelter in South Africa, where they house families in the hopes of rehabilitating them and getting their lives back in order. Today we are with Wayne and the rest of the team, and we are going to be speaking to some of the people at the shelter.
A family shelter where we take in families, and either be mother and children, fathers and children, or whole families. Most of these people had jobs, they had cars, they had houses. They lost their jobs. They ended up on the streets, or they ended up with a family who couldn't support them, so they ended up here. 70% of the people who come to my shelter are highly educated people. I've had doctors, lawyers, they have been successful in their lives, they've just fallen on hard times. Most of them want to work, you understand? So it's not that, I know when people, I always laugh when people come to my shelter and they visit my shelter and the people say, "Oh, your shelter is so clean." And I say, but why wouldn't it be? You know, people have the perception of a homeless person being untidy and dirty. No, it's not. It's people who are just down on their luck for whatever reasons, and they just need a hand up. And that's what we'll be there for.
Anyone from any walk of life can go from having everything in order in their life to being in a situation where they need to access a shelter. 90% of our clients are people that were evicted, lost their jobs, had to change their form of living because of COVID, but also just because of the state that that the country is in, or that their financial situation is in. So the shelter shouldn't be seen as something that people should hold in a negative light. People should understand that it's a place for people to restart their journey, as a second phase for some people, to have that second shot at life. And sometimes this is the platform that people need. So to understand that the people that are in shelters are still people. People in those situations sometimes use substances as a survival mechanism. And it's very hard for people that haven't experienced the streets to wrap our head around why someone would turn to that substance. But it's the same thing as when someone comes home from work and they need to let the load off or forget their day, or you have a tough thing. Everyone has a vice. It's just that homeless people don't have many options of what those vices are.
The region built on using an old school.
Yeah.
So a lot of the facilities we have is from that time. So yeah, we have our bathroom area and our laundry area. Basically the clients have a specific day or schedule where they are allowed to use the system, because we can get to a maximum of 100 individuals at the shelter, so we have to make sure that there's structure in place. I mean, there was a lot to do. The vibratreat you see around used to be a chain link fence that had more holes than anything else in it, so it's come a long way. And then the Wendy's that's in the corner, those are supposed to be when we get to our second phase. So clients who are a lot more stable, they're working, kids are in school, they will pretty much go into the second phase, which will be sort of a weaning off of the shelter system, and they'll be more of a tenant than a client.
Something that's
So we're hoping to have 9 of those at the back that are fully functional as independent units, so that it can be like a trial period of someone having their own home before they go into the real world outside of the shelter.
That's so cool.
So these are some of the rooms, the family rooms. These are the prefab classrooms that we've converted into rooms. So every classroom that we have at the shelter has been subdivided. So these are just for our larger families, because there's more space in them than the ones that are in the main shelter building.
any waste product that we have in terms of food and things like that, we don't throw away. If we can't donate it to the community and we have food left over and it's going to go to waste, then our composting unit, our 2 gardeners will basically compost any waste and put it back into the garden. So the school actually didn't shut down, they just moved to a different premises and this property was abandoned. So when the high level restrictions in COVID were in place, then this was identified as one of those sites that we could actually house people. So when we first started, there was no room divisions, no beds and things like that. Our manager pretty much started things off with mattresses on the floor and we built up from there over the last 4 years.
Van buitekant as dit meer violence staan. Jy kan nie jou lewe bou buite nie. Verstaan? Maar hier binne as jy in 'n shelter bly, jy sien jou future. Verstaan? Dis nog 'n second chance vir jou. Verstaan? Jy kan nog vorentoe gaan. Verstaan? Jy kan werk kry. Verstaan? Die Here gaan oop vir jou. Daar wat die Here toegegaan het vir jou buitekant. Niemand sien vir jou raak nie. Verstaan? Dis nog hoop vir jou hier binne. So wat ek kan sê hier binne, is dit baie hoop. Die mense gee om vir jou. Hulle harte gaan oop vir jou. Jy kry baie wat jy nie gekry het nie. Ek het baie swaar gelewe op die straat. Ek het geslaap agter by Tsekke se brug hier in Somerset. Verstaan? Ek en my vrou en my kinders. Maar dit was nie die moeite werd gewees nie. Verstaan? En toe het ons agterna het die vels en my kinders gevat. Ek het tronk toe gegaan, tronk uit en tronk in. Maar dit was nie die moeite werd gewees nie. Verstaan? Maar toe die Here deur gekom vir my. Verstaan? En toe het hy van my gevat na 'n lokasie toe en toe het ek gebly in 'n lokasie in 'n hokkie in. Die neighbors van my was nie reg met mekaar gewees nie. En toe verloor ek my hokkie ook daar wat ek by gebly het. En toe kom ons na die shelter toe, die shelter het ons aangeneem. Verstaan? So wat ek wil eintlik sê, dat is nie lekker buite nie. Om buite te lewe, om buite te slaap, dat is net meer moeilikheid en meer, dat is niks opdragte vir jou buite nie. Verstaan? So wat ek kan sê, die lewe is hier binne. Er was 'n blyigheid binne in my ingewies. Verstaan? Maar ek het, hoe kan ek sê, ek het baie seer gevoel, omdat ek hier vir my vrou en my kinders kan op my eie, kan support op so nie. Verstaan? Maar as 'n man, hoe kan ek sê, as 'n man, aan myself, verstaan? Maar op die einde toe ek myself besef, maar dit is eintlik die moeite werd, verstaan? En vandag kan ek sê, die mense van die shelter, hulle gaan uit hulle pad uit vir jou. Die social workers gaan uit hulle pad uit vir jou, verstaan? Hulle reik uit na mense toe, hulle reik uit na EPWP toe, self, net omdat jy in 'n werking kan kom, dat jy self jou geld kan save, dat jy ook self in 'n plek kan kom en 'n dak waar jy self ook kan hê. Die shelters is daar om vir mense te help. Moenie bang wees om na shelter toe te kom en te sê, joh, die mense gaan so praat van jou omdat jy in 'n shelter is en so en so en so. Dit is net 'n plek wat vir jou help en klaar.
For me, it's a privilege because I didn't have that. I didn't have that at all. Yes, everything I didn't have. My kids were sleeping on the ground, broken beds. The first time we came in here, my kids said, "Mommy, it's nice to sleep on a bed. Really, it's nice. Yeah, we have food. We didn't have food. Now we have food." We came in with 3 bags of clothes, but now my kids are wearing the nicest, not second-hand, but the grandest clothes, the shoes. We are neat. We didn't look like the way we came in. We look like princess and princess now. Really, the Lord is good. It was horrible. We live under a bridge. You couldn't even sit. You have to do everything on your back. We have to scratch in the buns for food. My husband have to steal for food for the kids. It was really horrible. Horrible. Sometimes we go to the hospital and we sleep there. In the mornings we came here as a river. In Somerset West we came to wash ourselves. We wash our clothes, we hang it, and after that we go again. Nighttime, when I cry, I said, "Regan, where are we going tonight? Where are we going tonight?" It was horrible, but I was always neat. on the streets. I was never dirty. People couldn't believe I was on the street because I was always neat. But it's not a place to be on the streets. It really is not a place. I came in here the Thursday morning, I think past 10. And then they take us to our rooms. Oh, I couldn't believe it, a big room. Everything is neat, tidy. There's not rubbish lying outside. Stinking places. And there's a shower. My kids never ever shower. There's a shower. You always have to wash in the basement. Yeah. Oh, it's a privilege for me to be in the shelter. Because there's everything I can have. The bedding, it's simple stuff, but it's, for me, it's something big. Something big. Like the bedding, they give us food to eat. Not, food with meat, there's meat in. My kids say, Mommy, look at the big plate look at all the meat in this plate. Yes, I'm like, especially for my kids. I do it for my kids. Because yes, everything. I'm not gonna say it's heaven, but to me it's like heaven, yeah. Horrible. My husband was still on drugs. He went to jail. One day, I was still sleeping on the street and the security guard said, Ma'am, we're gonna take away your kids. And that hit me so hard that I go to the RCVF and I told them, take my kids. Just for them to be in a warm place, clean place, and they took my kids away. No, they took my kids, I gave my kids up. My kids were for 6 months in Goede Hoop. It's also a place for kids in Gordons Bay. But every month I did go there to my kids. My baby was, I think so, maybe 6 months or 4. It was the one boy and the two girls. But my best friend, she came and took the oldest child, but the other child, she didn't want to go. It was horrible. I cried for nights and nights because I still have milk in my breast. And I was crying back. In 6 months' time, I changed my life around. And they gave my kids back. And I gave my kids back because I was working for them. Everything I do for my kids. I do for my kids, everything. My husband didn't work, but he's working. I was on drugs for 13 years. He stole everything from me, every little thing. He drew my money. He sell my bedding, he sell every little thing in the house. The shoes, every little thing he sell. Sometimes he just disappear for months. Then I'm alone at home. No food, no kimbies, nothing. But I was working maybe once or twice, but I was working for my kids. And it's almost now 2 years my husband is don't use drugs anymore. Yeah, we must be, they give us extension for a year. After that year is gone, you must have a place to go to. So now me and my husband are putting away every month 1,000 rand because we want to maybe go in a flat or something, but I don't want to go into a shack again. Because my whole life, me and my kids were living in a shack. I don't want to go into a shack. And I don't want to go and live in a location. Because I want a house with 4 walls. I want a house. And I know I'm going to get it. Sometimes there was no. My husband went children. I was the only parent. There was no food and I had to sell my body. But just for my kids to survive and for me to survive. Because it's not easy for mother if the kids are coming to stand and ask, Mommy, is this bread? There's nothing to eat. And you and your kids have to go to bed without food. And the next morning you don't know where the meat or the bread is coming from. Where it is coming from. That was hard because sometimes I have to sell anything in the house. Just for a loaf of bread or kimbies.
We basically got kicked out the night. We sat in somebody's car and we did not know where to go. We got some sponsors where people gave us some contribution of money to go stay in a guest house. And then basically the next morning we had to move out and go and sit on street till some money came in again that we could sleep another night in the guest house. They tried to take my kids away from me. So I started running. But they could not touch my kids. The more they phoned, the more I did not answer my phone. We slept for a week in Atlantis on bare ground and floor without electricity, without water, for a week before we could come into the family shelter. It's not a very pleasant experience because you've got 2 kids basically you need to provide for. Especially shelter, roof over their head, food to feed, food to give to them, where you as adult do not have any capital to feed your children, where you rely on sponsors or people you don't even know to supply something to eat that you just know as a parent that your child can go sleep with a full tummy. So no, it was not a pleasant experience to sit on street, basically on a pavement and wait for the next contribution to come in. The first thing we saw was basically a white squatter camp. Absolutely nothing, rubbish lying all over, pallet wood house structures built with bidum around it, sleeping on the ground, no mattresses to sleep on. The first thing that went through my head is why? Why, Lord? Why this far? Why couldn't we just go to a place with 4 walls? And basically that was quite a struggle to get used to, sharing basically a shower and 2 toilets with 180 people. No electricity, no water, only get water once a week. So that was a big struggle for us, especially losing everything, trying to build up with what we have to go forth.
I arrived here at the shelter a year and 4 months ago. Basically my whole family was falling apart. I was busy splitting up with the woman I'm about to marry now soon. So yeah, and my kids were all split up in different directions. I used to be a drug addict for 23 years. And also my life partner was also a drug addict for like 15 to 16 years. I actually pulled her into it. And yeah, basically everything started falling apart. Ended up on the streets, living in my mom's car for 2 months with the kids. Everything falling apart, and then eventually my mom actually got me in here at the shelter. And yeah, life started to turn around. You know, the biggest challenge is first of all, you're not allowed to actually sleep on the streets anymore. If the police catches you on the street, they will, with kids especially, they will try to take your kids away. And the main challenge, my challenge was especially not to separate the family, to keep the family, the kids, everyone together. That's the main challenge. And to sit at night looking like you're not sleeping, because if they catch you, then you're in trouble. So I used to stop somewhere with my fishing rod and look like I'm fishing, but you know, eventually you get tired. So that's where the drugs came in. You say, most of the people, if you find them on streets, they will tell you that, you know, drugs is the only way to survive in the street. And I understand that now, because, you know, most of the guys, you have to look out for yourself on the street, and the only way is to stay awake. Well, it's actually more like a survival thing. It's like, you know, with the schoolies and stuff on the streets these days, you know, if you sleep in a ditch, you might not wake up the next morning because they might rob you or stab you, or while you are sleeping, even stab you and rob you. So you rather stay awake than sleep to survive. Yeah, in the beginning, my partner actually didn't want to come. For me, it was more like a relief. I mean, like, at least now I've got a roof over my head. Got here, checked the story out. You know, after the first week, it's something to get used to, because there's a lot of people. You know, especially you're used to being on your own, and now you're with a lot of people. But you know what? If you've got the right support from the people around you, then it's not that bad. It's actually very good. You get like used to this thing in a week. Especially like me, I was like running around here like a mad one, and the kids was running. Yes, I battled to get the kids inside the room actually, because they was enjoying playing with all the other kids. So yeah, in the beginning it's difficult, but after a week, it's fine, and then you actually get used to it and fall into place. They sent you for life skills development programs to uplift you, and that's where my whole spiritually thing started actually. Well, I started to look into where did things go wrong, because that's the core. You need to look where things went wrong in the first place. Somewhere there's something broken that made you go into that depression dip, where you actually start to give up. So they find you to get to that problem and solve the problem to lift yourself up. You know what? There's no words that I can say or there's no way how I can actually say thank you. They must just keep on doing what they're doing, because they're doing a great thing. Because they are actually helping families that's in need of help. They're giving the hope, and they give the love, and everything you need to actually stand up. It's just the people must take the opportunity that is given to them.
Guys, so there we have it. What an incredible day it was here at the shelter. I cannot wait for us to come back here. I cannot wait to see the success stories that is going to come out of this, and most importantly, I cannot wait to see what the shelter is going to do next. I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for watching this video all the way till the end. Please don't forget to give this video a like. Please subscribe to the channel so that you can become a change maker. And guys, please go out and support the Somerset West Night Shelter, because they are doing some incredible things in order to give back to the people who needs it the most. This is what we do, guys. We get the opportunity to go out to see so many non-profits all around South Africa, and we get to play our part in making a change in this world, guys. And if you want to support our mission and become a change maker, then you guys will find all the information that you need to know about how you can help us in our mission to change this world. All of that information is down in the description below. And right now, guys, if you are in the change making mood, we have another video that's about to pop up now where we got the opportunity to run a soup kitchen.